Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're not just talking about dreams. We are breaking down the actual, data-backed roadmap to turn your side hustle into a full-time, high-income business.
And look, this isn't some hypothetical scenario. This is a quote from a real person who followed a specific plan to go from employee to entrepreneur, and we are going to dissect that transformation step by step.
And believe it or not, that same person, a content creator named Jessica, didn't even stop there. She's now pulling in over $16,000 a month. And here's the kicker. She's actually working fewer hours than she did at her old job.
Okay, so let's dive right in. Here's the 5-part journey we're going to cover today. And our goal is to make this whole transition feel not just achievable, but totally manageable for you.
Okay, first things first, I want to be super clear. This isn't just a dream or some what-if scenario. The numbers we're about to look at, they come from real people who actually did this. They made the leap and they succeeded.
Now, what's so powerful about this data is the variety, right? You've got a creator, an automation specialist, and a business consultant. Totally different fields, but they all follow the exact same fundamental framework to more than double their income. I mean, look at that ROI. That's a huge return.
All right, let's get into what is probably the most critical part of this whole thing, the financial readiness check. This is where you stop dreaming and start planning. This is the moment you figure out if you're really ready.
And this is a question you absolutely, positively have to answer with cold, hard numbers, not just a gut feeling. Seriously, getting this right is how you end up in that 78% of people who make this transition and absolutely crush it.
So let's talk benchmarks. The first crucial number is this. Your side hustle has to be consistently, and I really mean consistently, earning at least $5,000 a month. And that's for 3 or more months in a row. One fluke good month? Sorry, that just doesn't cut it.
Okay, the second key number you need to hit is your financial runway. This is your savings buffer, and trust me, it is non-negotiable. We're talking 3 to 6 months worth of your total monthly expenses all saved up. Think of it as the safety net that lets you build your business with confidence, not panic. And this checklist right here, this really gives you the full picture. See, it's not just about the raw income, it's all about stability. Do you have recurring clients? Have you figured out a plan for new costs, like health insurance? Is your personal debt under control? You gotta check all these boxes.
Okay, so once you've run the numbers and you know you're financially ready, it's time to actually build your escape plan. This whole phase is about creating the systems and the savings that are going to carry you out of that 9 to 5.
So how do you build that savings buffer quickly? You get aggressive, super aggressive. For a few months, you have to funnel the vast majority of every single dollar your side hustle makes. We're talking 50 to 70% straight into your transition fund. No excuses. Okay, so while you're in that aggressive savings mode, you have to start automating. Look at this simple client onboarding workflow. By using tools like Typeform and Notion, you can save yourself up to 3 hours of tedious admin work for every single new client. That's huge. And that time savings, it adds up like crazy. For what, about $145 a month in software, you can literally buy back almost half a work week. And that's not just time to chill on the couch, that's focus time you can pour right back into scaling your income even faster.
All right, the last piece of the puzzle in this phase is to actively scale your income before you quit. The goal here is to push your side hustle into that $8,000 to $10,000 a month range. Why? It makes that final leap feel a whole lot less like a leap and more like a safe, calculated step.
So all of this prep work, it's all building to this one moment, the moment of truth, making the final leap. Let's talk about how to actually quit your job and, even more importantly, how you navigate those critical first 30 days. You know, the data is crystal clear on this. The single most common reason people fail is that they jump ship too early. They get hyped up by one good month and go for it. Timing your exit based on these metrics, consistent high income plus a full buffer, is absolutely paramount.
And let me be real with you. Your first month of freedom is not a vacation, not even close. It requires a super structured, disciplined plan. You need to immediately get your routines down and just relentlessly focus on business development to replace and then blow past your old income. Okay, finally, let's talk about the fun part. How do you grow your new business from just a job replacement into a true engine of wealth and freedom? This is where you stop just surviving and you really start thriving.
A really key insight for this stage is understanding how your client-finding strategy needs to change over time. Yeah, you might start on a broad platform like Upwork just to get some traction, but the real sustainable growth, that comes from shifting your focus to high-value networks like LinkedIn and ultimately scaling through high-converting referrals from happy clients.
And this brings us right back to Jessica's journey, which just perfectly illustrates the payoff of this whole plan. Remember, the goal isn't just to match your old salary. With focused effort, the real goal is to dramatically blow past it, all within that first year.
But, it's so important to be realistic about this. As this roadmap shows, this is not an overnight success story. It just isn't. This entire process, from that first assessment to really scaling your new business, is a dedicated 6 to 12-month journey. You got to be in it for the long haul.
So, what's your homework? Here is your immediate, actionable takeaway. Don't just file this away for later. I want you to pull out a spreadsheet today and calculate your numbers. Know exactly where you stand, figure out your buffer target, and see just how far you have to go.
Because at the end of the day, this entire transition from being an employee to a full-time entrepreneur doesn't begin with a giant, terrifying leap. It begins with a single, calculated, and confident step forward.